What's up, guys? My name is Adriel Rivera, and I make music in my shed. Joining me today is somebody else who also does this podcast with me. Millionaire in the making, Tegan James Pres Washington.
Howdy. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you, man. It's been so long.
Yeah, for real. So like, how's the millionaire-ness making going? What percentage of the way are you there?
Like a percentage of a percent, honestly. A small percentage of a small percent.
Oh.
But
But in the making.
But it's progress, though.
Exactly.
That number is bigger now than it was 6 months ago.
And that's what we want to see.
That's the goal.
That compound growth.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
What are we doing today, bro?
Today, we are breaking down the lyrics of Make It Alright.
Yep. Yes, we are.
By this guy.
Yeah, by me. Fun fact, this song originally I was gonna name it again, comma again.
Yeah.
But Make It Alright sounded more like the message I was trying to go for, you know?
Yeah.
I could have said Make It Alright again, but no.
Yeah. Nah.
Questions, comments, concerns, bro.
I mean, I got questions. I got lots of questions.
True.
You got any questions, comments, or concerns about the song, bro?
I'm concerned that this is too much of a banger.
Dang, this might get too many streams for real.
Yeah. This is the world's not ready for this.
He's about to get too famous. That's what's about to happen.
All right, well, let's jump into those questions. What do you got for me?
All right, man. So in the song, you say, it's a good thing I don't know when it's time to quit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious, is that something that applies to like multiple aspects of your life, or is that solely in music?
I think it's like multiple aspects of my life. I wouldn't say that there's like never been a time where like, you know, I've quit something, you know?
Right.
But I think, you know, when something really matters to me, or I'm trying to really like hit a goal, for me, it's like music, for example. Like, I've been doing this for like over 8 years at this point.
Yeah.
You know, trying to make it like a full-time income, and I have not quit on it. You know, like I'm a very driven to like make it work at some point, regardless of how long it takes.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that applies to a bunch of different aspects of my life as well. Yeah, I mean,
is there any so obviously in this way, not quitting has helped you, right? It's helping you to get to the goals that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other times where you can just kind of talk about that, not quitting and finally getting the thing that you're looking for, but also something that maybe you like you were sticking to for too long, that you weren't quitting on, that it was that thing had run its course and maybe it was time to pivot away from that?
Yeah. I mean, for sure, there definitely are things that, like, you know, you pivot. I think like I would pivot away from.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what something that like. I guess the daily content, for example. Not that I like daily content, like short form content, right? I was doing like 3 posts a day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's not that like I don't think content works. The content does work, you know, and if you are consistent with it and you make good content, and you're constantly iterating and improving, you will make progress. And like, so content itself, it works, but I was not making it work in the right way. You know what I'm saying? I was posting three posts a day, but they were all like very simple, you know, very basic. I was basically, part of not being, or part of like, you know, this like go get it mindset comes with the fact that I'm very all in on a lot of things. And so when it came to content, instead of like slowly building my way up to be able to do 3 posts a day with like, you know, more strategy, more of a team, things like that, I would just jump into 3 posts a day and burn myself out. Because it's a little hard when you're trying to juggle all sorts of other stuff like podcasts, making music, running ads, things like that. Like, if you're trying to juggle all that stuff, you can't really iterate on the content, because it's like you're too focused on making it, getting it out, and not paying attention to it afterwards. You're moving on to the next thing until it's time to make content again. And so so like with the short form content, I quit on it, not saying that I would never go back to it, because you know, content is content, you know, it's like you have to do it at some point. But the way I was doing it was unsustainable, and so like moving away from that to putting myself in a more sustainable environment, trying to do things in a more sustainable way, like, you know, it's like the whole work smarter not harder thing, you know. It's like sometimes doing a lot doesn't mean you're gonna get a lot, you know. You decided that avenue, or even though just the way that you were like interacting with that avenue wasn't conducive to reaching your goals. Exactly. And so you pivot that attention and time and energy into something else. And I think also knowing when to let something go is also extremely important, just as not quitting on something, right?
You know?
Yeah, for sure. However, in this context, we don't know when it's time to quit.
So another question I have is, you say, so I'll try to settle the fight within and let go of the knife. Yeah. How do you get to a point where you're ready to let go of that knife? Because I'm assuming that you're not intentionally stabbing, you know, like, so like, how do you come to that realization? Like, all right, I caused, there's some harm here, and I want to try to alleviate that. Yeah.
I think it's just like looking at yourself, accepting your own flaws is a big thing. You know, it's like, it's hard to make improvements on yourself when you don't pay attention to what you are doing that's harming yourself. So it's like, just being completely honest with yourself. Like, being honest with yourself is the biggest thing, right? Because it's like, if you aren't honest with yourself, then you're never going to change what needs to be changed to let go of that knife. You know what I'm saying? And so if you can see the qualities of yourself, or like the habits, things like that like, you know, hold you back, then like being just open and honest with yourself that this is you is the first step into letting go of things that harm you, that you do, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I mean, I mean this in multiple ways, right? I mean, there's big things that, like, you know, maybe somebody's like, you know, an addict on something, like there's that aspect of it, but there's also little things too. It's like, I don't put my dishes away or something, you know what I'm saying? It's like the little habits also are the same thing. Or if you can recognize like, you know, those little habits as well, you can improve on them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. How do you, are you good at like acknowledging that stuff like as it's going on, like you kind of realize like, all right, this isn't like great for me, but I'll deal with it later? Or is it kind of like you have a breakthrough moment where you're like, yo, why have I been doing this? Or why did I allow this to get this way?
I think it's both. I think it's both. There's like there's things that like I've realized about myself over time that like, you know, I wanted to improve on, and so like I have communication is a big thing, you know, being able to communicate in a healthy way. I've, you know, I've never felt like I was a terrible communicator, but I definitely knew that there was like, you know, ways I could improve and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, you know, letting go of the ego side of it, being able to, you know, like not hold so much, I guess, pride in conversations and stuff like that, and just trying to like, you know, just communication in general. Definitely like something that like over time is like something that took a while. But then like, for example, like personal finance, you know, I'm definitely super into it. And I think from here on out, because like I was really getting into personal finance like back in like November, right? And from here on out, I think personal finance is something that I'm probably going to take seriously for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But it only happened because I got to a point where everything was just like, okay, I screwed up somewhere, you know? And it's like, it was something that I just ignored and, well, didn't even really realize to begin with, you know?
Yeah.
I thought I was good with my finances, but apparently not, because, you know, your boy's got that still needs to be paid. And I don't have a nest egg of money that can pay for that debt right away. So it's like, if I was actually good with my finances like I thought I was, then this wouldn't even be a problem to begin with.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, but the thing is that like it all had to come to a head first before I could realize that, you know, and now like personal finance is like in my everyday. Like I'm constantly learning about it. I love learning about it and I'm excited about it. But it wasn't something that like, you know, that like I really tackled until like I had to tackle it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you reach like a tipping point.
Yeah,
and then it's time to go all in, and then you do your best to not get back there.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, right.
Speaking of improving yourself, you say, I know my bad habits will be my death. What are some of those habits? And is there one that you can pinpoint right now and say, hey, this is something I want to fix, and then we can check up on it in, say, like 4 weeks and see how it's going?
Let me think.
Anything, no matter how small.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the things I want to share.
Okay. Yeah. True.
So, I mean, like food, right? I mean, like eating and stuff like that. That's something I've been working on this year. I've been tracking it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning of the year, we did that episode of like our 2025 goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And losing weight was one of them. And so like, you know, building the habit of tracking my food and just being aware of what I'm eating definitely will help me get to the point where I am losing weight. Because again, it's like nobody's making me gain weight but myself.
Yeah.
So it's like that habit I definitely been improving on, of like the whole eating. And right now, because I started the year about like 220 pounds. I weigh myself every Monday rather than every day. I do it like every Monday of every week. Yeah. So it's like it's more of a gradual over time thing rather than like a day by day trying to stress out about every fluctuation.
Good call.
Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, so like over time, you know, I've lost like depending, I don't know where I started at. I don't know if I started close to like 218 or 220.
Yeah.
But I started in between there because I didn't start tracking after a week. I started doing tracking my calories. Okay. You know?
Yeah.
But point I'm trying to make is that since I started at the beginning of the year, I am down to 212. So we lost like 6 to 8 pounds.
Somewhere in
6
between
to
there.
8 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so and it's nice because it's like, I mean, it's like a slow process, but it's like a sustainable process. Again, going back to the whole sustainability thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I'm feeling good about it. yeah, I'm just hoping that I stick with it throughout the rest of the year and really build that habit build a good habit, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what it's about.
Yep.
That's what it's about. Yeah, trying to turn the bad habits into good habits.
Yep.
Great call on the weighing yourself once a week. It's just like it is so much better.
Yeah, and actually I look forward to it. You know, I look forward to weighing myself every week, because then it's like, oh shoot, like I'm happy to see, or I'm excited to see where it is from last week.
Yeah.
You know, rather than it being an everyday thing where you see all the fluctuations and all that.
Right.
And yeah, so we're on track. We're doing good. We're doing
good. Sir. Yes, sir. Keep doing it, man.
Yeah, thank you. We'll do.
So in the song you say, I know I won't find solace in a suit and tie. And so I'm just curious, can you explain that a little bit and then say why not?
So like, I definitely don't think like fulfillment for me will come from like, I guess like an office job, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, being in something that like I don't find I have like a passion in, just doing it for the sake of like doing it, like won't give me fulfillment, right?
Yeah.
And so suit and tie is more so like, you know, traditional job where it's like you go to the office, you know, do whatever you do.
Right.
Yeah, but like for example, like, you know, doing something like customer service, you know, or like IT, not my vibe. Even like applying, I mean, I have a lot of skills that I feel like I could apply to a lot of industries, like marketing, sales, things like that. Like I would love to, like, you know, even though those are things I want to improve on, it's like if I'm doing marketing for like solar panels, it's like that's not necessarily something that like excites me, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so while, you know, I could get some traditional marketing and sales experience through doing like sales and marketing in whatever field, it's like if it's not something that I enjoy, I'm not gonna find fulfillment in it, you know. So
that comes down to passion.
Exactly.
Comes down to passion.
Yeah, right. And yeah, so then to go on from that lyric, I know I only failed if I never tried. It's like I would much rather keep trying to, you know, go for this, you know, because it's like I'm only failing at it if I don't keep trying.
Yeah. And this is the thing that you've found to be your passion throughout your life.
Exactly.
You know, it's something that's been consistent.
Right. You. Yep. For real.
And then later in the song, you say, though I've fallen down on my chin with teeth broken, I've never called it in, so I wipe my skin, adjust my shins, and try to make it right again. How do you go about getting back up when you fall down?
I'm so glad you pointed out this lyric, because this is like one of my favorite lyrics of the entire. I think it is my favorite like set of lyrics in the entire song. Yeah.
Hey.
That this is where I got like emotional talking to ChatGPT about the lyric. Yeah. Like, well, just to bring it, because I think we talked about this on the last episode.
Yeah.
Like when I write lyrics to songs, sometimes I'll ask ChatGPT to break down the lyrics just to make sure that the message that I'm trying to convey gets through. And when ChatGPT broke down the lyrics to the song, especially that part, like, you know, I got emotional. I got like teary-eyed, because it's like this is a reflection of my life, you know.
Yeah.
And so like hearing it, you know, being broken down, or reading it, I guess, being broken down into like, you know, what it is that I'm trying to convey, it gets me emotional, because I'm like, exactly, you know. Right. So, how do you get up again? What was the question?
Yeah. How do you go about getting back up again? Is it like breaks? Is it relying on your support system? Like, what is a specific, like, how do you get back up?
Support system is a big thing. Yeah, for sure. My girlfriend, like, I've had lots of moments, you know, within our relationship where like I've, you know, felt down on myself, where I'm like, I feel like I should be so much further. Especially like it's different too, because like, I mean, when I'm on my own, like if I was single, right? I mean, not that like I would feel less stressed, but it's like when you're single, you're only really thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you know, income wise, like, you know, success wise, all that stuff. It's like when I was single, I was working at my own pace, didn't really care, right?
Yeah.
My girlfriend does not put any pressure on me to be more successful, to make more money. She's like super supportive, and so it's like she does not care whether I make more money or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I care, because now she's part of my life, and it's like I want to be there for us in the future, you know. And so I am putting more pressure on myself. Like, she's not doing anything. It's really just me, but it gets me down more because it's like, you know, I want to contribute, you know, like I don't want to just be like the I guess like deadbeat, you know, boyfriend, whatever, like, you know, like, and I know she doesn't think of me that way. I know a lot of her family and like like friends probably don't think of me that way either, you know. But basically, like, for me though, it's like I get myself down sometimes with those thoughts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my support system, her, you know, you, like, just talking to people about it, like, it helps me to get myself back up again. Because it's like I mean, like, you guys make me feel like I could do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, and on top of that too, like, another thing is just like kind of planning out. When I have a plan, I definitely feel more like stable, because it's like when I follow a plan, it just feels like there's steps, like it makes things more digestible, you know. So this whole huge goal of making full-time income, like if I break it down to like, well, let me just put this much money for like every month, let me just release a song, like every month put ad spend towards the song, do this. If I break it down into like, you know, smaller steps that are more digestible for me, it feels a lot more attainable.
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, for example, the whole content thing, it's like it's stressful when you do pivot, because it's like, oh, this didn't work out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, if you have a plan for something else, it's like kind of makes it eases it a little bit, you know.
Right. But
yeah, so yeah, that's I mean, yeah.
Hey, always got to get back up, guys. Always
for sure. But yeah, that line though, that set of lyrics, right? Yeah, even no matter how many times that like we get knocked down, you know, whether it's like our business like fails in certain aspects or just altogether, or like, you know, even like if you have personal goals that you just don't hit, like, you know, for example, like I gained a lot of weight, you know, or like I got down myself in terms of my finances, where I'm like, I can't believe I'm at this point when I had such an advantage and opportunity like a few years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and so like, you know, those moments really, really, you know, they'll bring you down. You know, it brought me down for sure. But like just the resilience, getting back up, the imagery of like adjusting, you know, like even when Captain America in Endgame, you know, he's got like his shield's broken in half, and like he's got this huge gash on his arm, you know, and like Thanos and like the whole entire army's like right there, you know, he still gets up, just like tightens like his shield, and he's like, okay, like I'm gonna keep fighting until I die, basically. You know, and that's like, that's the kind of like, that's what that energy is, what like, you know, is what I feel writing that lyric, you know, of like getting back up, like wiping off the dust, adjusting like, you know, my shins, like the legs, getting like a good stance, and just like, all right, like let's get back into this, like let's keep fighting. I'm hurt, like, you know, I'm beat down, but like, you know what, until this kills me, I'll just keep going.
Yeah, we got to win that fight.
Exactly. We gotta
win that fight, right? So we got to get back up.
Yep, exactly. Yep. So yeah, that's like, that was the energy I'm trying to convey with that lyric. That's why I love it so much, because it's just like, it's just epitome of resilience, you know.
Yeah. Good work with it, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Any more questions?
That's what I got. Do you got anything you want to talk about?
Let me try to think really quick if there is anything that I want to talk about. Yeah, I mean, I think we basically went over everything that, like, you know, that I would wanted to talk about. So, boom. Those are the lyrics, bro.
There it is.
And if you guys want early access to my latest singles every month, feel free to join my email list down below, and I'll send you early access to those singles before everybody else. You have so many emojis next to my name.
I do. It's all the things you do.
It's a bunch of hearts, you know, like kissy faces and everything. Okay, so what time is it, bro?
It is time to break down the cover art.
That's facts, bro. Yeah, no, you're right. Completely forgot about that. Good call. Good call. Know. Check this out. Boom.
Hey. Oh, look, he got back up.
Exactly. That was exactly the imagery that I'm trying to talk about. That resilience. Putting it in the cover art right there. Make it all right, bro.
That's good, man.
Thank you.
That's good, man. Look at dude got back up.
Bro got back up. We're up, bro. We're up. All right, so let's break this down.
You look messed up, bro.
Yeah.
You all right, bro?
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna be all right.
I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna make it all right. Yeah, look at that. Broken teeth, bro. Yeah. One of the only cover arts where I don't draw myself with glasses, because when you're in a fight, who's wearing glasses? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Would have been funny, though. Actually, now thinking about it, if I drew my glasses broken, would have been funny. But yeah, so let's break down this cover art real quick. I'm gonna take off all these layers. Pause. And so yeah,
look at this guy.
I posed up in the position that I wanted to do. I took so many pictures of like the different poses that I potentially would want to do. This was the one that I ended up settling with, right? Me in my home, be in my house. And so I was like, yeah, let's do this. Took this, sketched out, the different body parts from there, and I also adjusted it because the way that I'm standing, I wanted to exaggerate the legs, exaggerate the arms, so I like repositioned the arm to be a little bit more forward facing and like the legs to be like significantly more squatted, I guess. So then from there, with the frame, we build out the sketch. So this is the initial sketch, getting all the details in, all the different sweat spots and all that.
Got to.
And then after that, we do the actual line art right here. So this is the refined line art, right?
Hey.
So with that line art, you then do the color blocking, all the different colors. You got the little sweat stains there. And then from there, obviously, as always, we do the shading and the highlights. And that's just a sketched leg.
Dude, what the heck is that, dude?
I think when I was drawing, I wanted to try to put the leg up a little bit, but I was not feeling it afterwards. Here's some reflections for the sweat. So yeah, like just break it down a little bit more, trying to visualize this. If this were in real life, over in the corner behind me would be like the light source. So that's why we have the shadow casted on this side of my body. And then over here, that's why the sweat, I guess, like reflection, would be on these sides as well, to just follow the light. But yeah, I was comparing my cover arts to like older cover arts from like 2020 when I was first starting to do consistent cover arts.
Yeah. And
I forget that, like, because I don't consider myself like an artist as in like drawing, and so like if somebody pretty casually asked me like, oh, do you draw a lot, I'd be like, nah. But I forget that like every month ever since 2020 for the past 5 years, I draw like a cover art every single month.
Yeah.
So I do art, and I improve. Like the point I'm trying to make is like it's improved significantly from when I first started doing the cover arts, and I was good at back then, but it's like I understand lighting a lot more, just a bunch of different things about like anatomy and stuff for doing it like for years at this point consistently. It's like cover arts have gotten a lot better, and I'm proud of myself for that. Didn't think that they would improve it so much, but once you compare it, I'm like, oh damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's crazy. It's so crazy to be able to be here every single week and just watch the level ups, man. Watch it keep going.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate that. Now, quote of the week.
Hey,
what's your quote, man? Give me your quote. Let's quote it up.
My quote. It's kind of an excerpt. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Excerpt it up, bro.
Let's go. This is from the biography on Elon Musk by Walter Isaacson. And he said, its goal, he said in an early presentation, was to launch its first rocket by September 2003 and to send an unmanned mission to Mars by 2010. Thus, continued the tradition he had established at PayPal, setting unrealistic timelines that transformed his wild notions from being completely insane to being merely very late. And
that's funny.
Yeah, and I like that because it's like no matter how wild the idea is, it's all right if you get the timeline wrong, but don't give up on the thing.
Exactly.
Like keep going and you'll get to that end goal.
All right, yeah. Because if you're shooting for the moon, even if you miss, you'll still land among the stars.
Look at this guy.
Jeez.
There you go.
I definitely probably heard that from somewhere.
That's a bonus quote of the week right there.
Bonus quote of the week. Yeah, no, for sure. I do like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, it reminds me of like our friend TJ. Mm-hmm. We've had conversations before about this very concept of shooting for a really, really high goals, because even if you miss, you'll still hit a goal higher than if you wouldn't have set a really, really high goal. Let's say like, you're like, I want to make just rudimentary example. I don't even know what that word means, but I hope I use it right.
Yeah.
Basically, let's say like I want to make $5 million this year, right? And then you like hit like 500K. That's significantly off from 5 million. But if you would have just said I want to make 100K this year, 500K is significantly higher than 100K.
Yeah.
You know? So even if it's unrealistic to hit that 5 million, if you go for it really, really hard and you act like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like you really, really go for it, you actually might end up even further than if you were to limit yourself to something quote unquote realistic.
Absolutely. Got to move with that urgency.
Yep. Food for thought. My quote is from Dave Ramsey. You know who Dave Ramsey is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Just context. Dave Ramsey, financial advisor guy, older, cool guy. This is something he says all the time. So, maybe it's a cop-out quote because it's just so common. Dave, you know, if you watch Dave Ramsey, you know this quote. He says, "Live like no one else, so you can live and give like no one else." So, do you watch Dave Ramsey? You just know of him?
Not regularly. Like I see clips and stuff occasionally.
You ever heard that quote?
No.
Okay, so let me break this down for you and for the audience. So the meaning behind this quote is like in terms of like getting out of debt, right? Trying to build that financial peace, that financial freedom.
Mm.
It's not like an easy process, right? Steps are simple. The execution is the hard part, right? Because it's math. At the end of the day, money is just math. But the reason why it's so difficult for people is because it's rooted in behavior. You know, it's like it's easy to say, you know, if you spend $500, you make 1,000, you'll have 500 left over. But the behavior behind spending money on a credit card, you know, the impulses of buying food, stuff like that, it's not. Finances is usually never a math problem. It's a behavior problem.
Yeah.
You know, and so when it comes to trying to get out of like massive debt, like $100,000, $500,000, some people have crazy debts that, you know, they just live way above their means. The math to get there is possible. The hard part is the behavior.
Yeah.
If you're willing to sell your car, if you're willing to downsize your home, if you're willing to like pick up side hustles, like, you know, maybe go door dashing if you have a full-time job, like at the end of the day you go door dashing to make that, you know, and also just like never going out to eat, never buying anything that you don't need, and you live super, super frugally to get out of that debt. You can get out of it in like, you know, a lot of people get out of crazy debt in like 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, from the outsider that doesn't really know what's going on the inside, you look kind of weird. Like, why is bro like selling so much stuff? Why is he not, you know, why is he doing the not the norm?
Yeah.
Why is he living like no one else?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that quote, live like no one else, you know, do the things that no one else is willing to do, change the behavior. If you do that, you will eventually be able to get that financial peace, that nest egg for when you retire. And eventually, if you live like no one else now, you'll be able to live and give like no one else in the future because you did that now.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's my mindset at the moment with everything that I'm doing in terms of my personal finances and stuff.
Mm.
And I wanted to share it with everybody else because maybe it'll resonate with somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one, man. Shout out to Dave Ramsey.
Shout out to good old David Ramsey. I'm assuming that's probably his full name.
Yeah. Hey, who knows?
He maybe has a middle name in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go. Personal finance, man. It's important, especially as a business too. If businesses have finances and stuff like that. And I definitely was not thinking about that.
That'll happen.
Hey, but now we got it.
All covered.
And I'll cover, and you cover, you guys, thank you for covering us with the 5-star reviews.
For real.
So if you like this show, please feel free to leave a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. It helps us out. We really appreciate it. Do you appreciate it?
Yeah, I do. I thought I was included in the we, no? I'm nervous there. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yep. And so thank you for the 5-star reviews. You guys are awesome. This has been
Tegan Washington.
I'm Adriel Rivera, and I make music in my shed.